3 student. May I know your name and your age, please?
I am Joan and I am 18 years old.
Okay. Mr. Joan, today you are here for your blood pressure measurement, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before, did you measure your blood pressure before coming?
No.
Okay. Let me start with a few questions. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Did you have any beverages in the last 30 minutes?
No.
Like coffee, tea?
No.
Okay. While coming, did you come by elevator or steps?
I came by the elevator.
Elevator. Okay. Now, at the moment, are you relaxed or you're stressed?
relaxed.
You're relaxed. Okay. So let's sanitize. I will begin our examination. Okay. Before the examination, I have made the patient quite comfortable in this room. I have made the patient sit on a chair and asked him to place his leg on the floor. For this examination, I will be using a stethoscope and a manual sphygmomanometer. I have positioned the arm straight to the patient's heart level, and I will make sure that the arm which I am going to use is free of clothing. Mr. Johan, now I am going to place this cuff onto your arm. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
This won't hurt. Is it okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just give me your arm? Make sure there is 2.5 centimeter between the cuff and the arm. There should be a 2-finger space here. Hook up this manometer onto the cuff like this. Mr. Johan, now I'm going to feel for your pulse, okay?
Yeah.
Now I am palpating the radial artery with my fingers and at the same time rapidly inflating the cuff until the radial pulse disappears. Now I am going to add 30 millimeters of mercury to the pressure displayed on the meter, and I am going to deflate the cuff promptly and wait for 15 to 30 seconds. Now I am placing the bell of the stethoscope lightly over the brachial artery. Now I am inflating the cuff rapidly again to the level just determined. Inflate the cuff slowly at the rate of 2 to 3 millimeters of mercury per second. Note the level at which you hear the sound of at least 2 consecutive beats.
Mr. Johan, by this we end our blood pressure measurement. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. Sabir again. May I know your name and age, please?
Arian, 21.
Okay. Now I am going to do the eye examination. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
These are the apparatus required for the eye examination: Snellen chart, pupil size chart, 2 pen light, and an ophthalmoscope, pencil for near reaction, and the card and the red tablet pen for. Okay. First, I am going to do the visual acuity test. So, can you please stand right here? Close your eyes, one eye with this card, okay, and read the lowest line as you can.
D E F P O T E C.
Okay, and
D E F P O T E C.
okay. Okay, now my patient visual acuity is 20/50. It is normal. Next, I am going to do the visual field test. Next, I am going to do the kinetic red target test. So, I am going to use this pin to move inward from the 4th quadrant. So, when you can see this pin, say yes. Okay.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. Next, I am going to check the pupil size using the pupil size chart. Both pupils are 3 mm and it is normal. Next, I am going to do the near reaction. So, I am going to use the pencil. Okay, look in, focus this pencil. Okay? Okay, it's normal. Next, I am going to do the ophthalmoscopic examination. So first, I am going to dim the lights. Next, I am going to use the ophthalmoscope to identify the red reflex and the optic disc and optic nerve and veins. Okay, it's normal. Eye examination is done. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Samreen. Can I know your name, please?
Hi, my name is Zina.
So today we're going to examine your ear.
Okay.
So let's start exam. Inspect the auricle and surrounding tissues for deformities, lumps, or skin lesions. If ear pain, discharge, or inflammation is present, move the auricle up and down, press the tergus, and press firmly just behind the ear. Note for tenderness. Tilt the patient head to the opposite side. To straighten up the ear canal, pull the ear upward and backward and place the speculum, identifying any kind of discharge, noting any redness and swelling in the wall. Inspect the tympanic membrane. Color of tympanic membrane. Observe tympanic membrane if it's intact or perforated. Observe the contour like it's bulging, flat or retracted. Observe cone of light. A change in normal contour suggests middle ear disease. And also identify the malus. Whispered voice test is a reliable screening test for hearing loss if the examiner uses a standard method of testing and exhales before whispering. In this test, stand 2 feet behind the patient. Whisper the combination of 3 numbers and letters. Normal patient repeat initial sequence correctly. Abnormal, 4 of the 6 possible numbers and letters are incorrect. Tunic fork test. Now, by tapping the tunic fork, place it on the top of the head and ask where patient hears the sound, on one side or on both the sides. Rainy test. First tap the tunic fork and place it on the mastoid bone and then fork close to the ear canal. Simultaneously asking about the sound where they can hear the vibration. Normally, the sound is heard longer through the ear than through the bone.
No? Yes.
Myself Shravan Kumar, I am second year medical student. Today I am going to examine your mouth, pharynx and neck. Okay. Inspect the inner surface of the lips by retracting them with a tongue blade. Inspect for color, moisture, lesions, symmetry and deformities. Look into patient's mouth using a tongue blade. Inspect buccal mucosa for color, pigmentations, ulcers, patches and nodules. Teeth. Note absence of one or more teeth, presence of caries, discoloration, bridges and braises. Observe palate for color, deformities, any lesion and odor. Ask the patient to open his mouth. Observe his abnormal movements. Ask the patient to protrude their tongue and observe the following color, surface, moisture, symmetry, and lesions. Now depress the tongue and ask patient to say ah. You can see the rise in soft palate. Under the patient and examine neck anteriorly, laterally, and posteriorly. Palpate posterior cervical spine, mastoid process, trapezius. Inspect neck for symmetry, size, deformity, mass, and swelling. Palpate sternocleidomastoid muscle. Palpate the trachea for any deviation by placing your fingers. Compare it with the other side. The spaces should be symmetrical. If asymmetrical, there is deviation. From behind the patient, palpate thyroid gland, followed by lymph nodes. Standing behind the patient, palpate the lymph nodes. These are submental lymph nodes. These are submandibular lymph nodes. These are preauricular lymph nodes. These are posterior auricular lymph nodes. These are occipital lymph nodes. These are tonsillar lymph nodes. Superficial cervical lymph nodes. Deep cervical lymph nodes. Posterior cervical lymph nodes. These are supraclavicular lymph nodes.
The inspection, stand in the midline position behind the patient. Inspect the chest wall. Note the shape of the chest and how the chest moves. Inspect for any deformities or asymmetry in the chest expansion. Palpation. Identify any tender areas by placing controlled hand pressure at random and where the pain is reported and lesions are seen. Assess further lung expansion. Ask the patient to breathe deeply. Assess for palpable impedance to transmission of vibration from the vocal cords and the bronchopulmonary tree and thorax by palpating the tactile fremitus or voiced sounds. Aim at your distal interphalangeal joint. Note that the thumb and the second, fourth, and fifth fingers are not touching the chest wall. Percuss one side of the chest and then the other at each level in a ladder-like pattern. For auscultation, position the patient same as in percussion. Place the diaphragm firmly against the chest wall to exclude as much extraneous noise as possible. Instruct the patient to breathe a little deeper than usual with his mouth slightly open. Auscultate corresponding areas of each side of the anterior, posterior, lateral thorax from top to bottom. As you listen, take note and compare the relative intensity and duration of inspiration and expiration in different areas of the thorax. Classify the breath sounds heard for bronchial, vesicular, bronchovesicular and give their corresponding location. Listen for and identify any adventitious sounds and note its timing in the respiratory cycles. Place the diaphragm of the stethoscope over symmetrical areas of the thorax and ask the patient to say 99, 99. Now ask the patient to say E, E. Now whisper 99, 99.
Hi, this is Dr. Pomala Shiva Chelsea, studying medicine second year. Today I am going to perform the cardiovascular examination. Before performing this examination, the patient should lie down at a 30 degrees angle in a supine position. So first of all, I am going to measure the internal jejunal pressure. So we have to check for the highest oscillation point. Can you please turn the right side? Now I am going to assess for the carotid pulse. Can you please hold your breath? Now I am going to do the inspection for the cardiac. To check whether there is any masses or bruises. I am going to palpate.
Start.
Now I am going to identify the apical impulse. Can you please turn to the left side? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to auscultate. Breathe. Can you please turn to the left side? I'm going to feel for the right ventricular impulse at the lower left sternal border and the epigastric area. Palpate for the carotid pulse. Your examination is completed. Thank you.
My name is Navit Kumar. What's your name?
My name is Nitish.
Nitish, I will be examining your abdomen today. So, are you okay with that? Okay, then let's start this. Abdominal examination consists of 4 parts: inspection, auscultation, percussion, and palpation. So, we'll first begin with inspection. And before beginning the examination, have you emptied your bladder? Okay, then let's begin the inspection. I will inspect the abdomen for symmetry and skin for color, lesion and any scars. And we'll check the appearance of umbilicus, is it flat, inverted or everted, and presence of any visible pulsation in epigastric region, and also observe any bulging flanks, dilated superficial blood vessels or masses. Now we'll proceed with auscultation. Now I will auscultate to listen and describe vowel sounds, and also listen for gurgling, bubbling or whooping sounds, and also auscultate for possible bruit. Begin with percussion to check the liver span. Now I'll start at the area of tympani from below along the mid-clavicular line and percuss upwards and identify the lower border of liver. Then I'll start at the area of resonance at about 3rd and 4th intercostal spaces and percuss downwards and identify the upper border of liver. Now I'm going to percuss the spleen. Now I will percuss along left mid-axillary line starting from 8th intercostal space down to 11th intercostal space and try to identify any dullness. Now I will detect the presence of ascites through fluid test. Fluid wave test, I will place the palm of one hand over one flank and then percuss the opposite flank using other hand and try to feel the impulse transmitted through the fluid into my palm. We'll test for shifting tenderness. Now we'll begin percussion at the level of umbilicus and proceed downwards laterally to the right. And then I will have the patient rolling in the left lateral decubitus position and repeat the percussion. Test for costovertebral angle tenderness. We place the palm of one hand over the costovertebral angle and strike the dorsum of extended hand with the ulnar surface of. We'll begin with palpation. And first we have the light palpation by pressing the finger pad gently into the abdomen with a dipping motion to a depth of about 1. Perform the deep palpation by a double-handed technique by placing my left hand on the top of my right hand. Palpate the liver by supporting the patient's 11th and 12th rib with my left hand and placing my right hand on the right side of the patient's abdomen and asking him to take deep breaths. Now I will perform the hooking technique by hooking my fingers around the costal margin or below the border of labral dullness and asking the patient to take deep breaths. I will palpate the spleen by placing my right hand on the abdominal wall in the left upper quadrant and placing the left hand on the right mid-axillary region to support the 11th and 12th rib and asking the patient to inspire slowly and deeply. To test for localized peritonitis, first I will check for rebound tenderness by pressing fingers of my right hand gently and deeply and slightly perpendicular to the abdomen, then suddenly withdrawing my fingers. Now I will assess the psoas sign by placing my hand immediately proximal to the knee and asking the patient to flex the thigh against resistance. Now I will test for obturator sign by flexing the patient's hip and knee at right angle and internally rotating the hip. This will stretch the internal obturator. Now I will test for possible cholecystitis by performing the Murphy's sign by placing fingers of my right hand under the right costal margin and asking the patient to take deep breaths while gliding the fingers upwards.
Hello. May I know your name?
Vijay.
What's your age?
43.
Okay. I am here to examine your shoulder and wrist. Is that fine for you?
Yes.
Let's move to palpation. Okay. In palpation, we'll be looking for tenderness and asymmetry. Let's move to movements. Okay. Be calm. We'll be doing empty can test. Okay. For supraspinatus. Raise your arm. Put downwards. You have to resist my hand. Okay. Okay. Put down. External rotation. That is for teres mirror and infraspinatus. Okay. You have to resist my hand. You can put it down. Hawkins test in pigment. Knees in pigment. Sign. Raise your hand. This compresses the greater tuberosity of the humerus against the acromion. Okay, you can put it down. Fine. External rotation leg test. Rises to 90 degree. Flex. Abduction. Okay, you can put it down. Thank you. Internal rotation leg test. Turn around. Put your hand up back. Can you put it up? Leave. Now we'll be examining your wrist. May I see them? We'll be palpating your wrist. May I see it? That's all for our physical examination. Thank you for joining.
Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Prabhu. I am a second year medical student and today I am going to perform cranial nerves 5, 7 and 8 examination. Hello mister, my name is Prabhu Rawal and may I know your name?
My name is Yash Joshi.
Okay Mr. Joshi, so now I am going to examine you. So for the first cranial nerve examination for the cranial nerve 5, I am using the sensory touch sensation. Please close your eyes.
Sharp, dull, sharp, dull.
Okay. Tell me Mr. Joshi if you feel the sensation.
Okay.
Please close your eyes. You feel?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
So for the corneal reflex, I am using the cotton base. I ask the patient to look up. So can you look up? Okay. So for the motor function of the cranial nerve 5, I am going to check the patient. I will ask the patient to clench his teeth, and now I am going to check the temporalis and masseter muscles. You clench your teeth. Okay, fine. Cranial nerve 7, which is facial nerve. I am going to examine the patient's anterior 2/3 part of the tongue. Joshi, can you please gargle this water? Gargle. Now expose. Oh. Can you please keep your tongue out? Full tongue. Okay. What's the taste?
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Repeat this tongue process on the other part of the tongue. Same. So for the motor function, we are going to see the facial muscle for the expression. So now I am going to see the expression of the face. Can you, Mr. Joshi, can you please frown? Raise your eyebrows. Close the eyes. Okay, now open. Wrinkle the nose. Okay. Show the teeth and smile. Thank you. Now which is a vestibulocochlear nerve. I am going to perform the first whisper test. For that, I will just 1 arm length from the patient, and I will whisper the voice, whisper the words, and patient needs to listen carefully and speak out the words.
1, 2, 3. A, B, C.
I am going to perform Weber's and Rini test using tuning fork. I ask patient to tell me when he listen to the sound.
Yes. 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 Yes, it is audible.
This is motor function of upper extremities. Now I will ask patient to abduct his shoulder. Now adduct. Okay. Now flex your elbow. Now extend. Okay. Now for the wrist, flex your wrist outside and then extension. Okay. Now flexion of your proximal phalanx, proximal, and now your middle phalanx. One more. Thank you, Mr. Joshi. The motor function is doing fine.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mr. Myself, Dr. Hari Prasad. And what's your name?
I am Sagar Chitty.
And what's your age?
22.
Okay, now I am going to do the cranial nerve examination for you. Is that okay?
Okay.
First of all, the cranial nerve, first test is going to cranial nerve 9 and 10, glossofingal nerve and vagus nerve. Say ah. Vulva is in midline. Soft palate is symmetrical. Next test is Gog reflex test. Okay. Now I am going to do the cranial nerve 11 spinal accessory. Stretch your shoulder upwards. Now turn up. Turn your head into my chin. I am going to do the cranial nerve 12 hypoglossal. Stick out your tongue. There is no deviation from the midline. Move your tongue. Okay. Then push your tongue inside your chin. Okay, fine. Now I am going to do the muscle stress reflexes for you. First of all, the first test is bicep reflexes. Now I place my thumb in your bicep tendon and strike my thumb with my reflexes. Now I feel your bicep contraction. Next, tricep reflexes. Now also I feel your tricep contraction. Next, brachioradius reflexes. Strike the radius 2 inches above the wrist. Next, patellar reflex. Strike the patellar tendon. Next, I am going to do the abdominal reflex. I am going to do the plantar response. Next one, final reflexes, neck mobility.
Myself, Dr. Swami Chandril. Today I am going to perform cerebral test and sensory function test. Now I am going to perform sensory function test. I will take cotton ball and touch to the patient body part. Now I will take a sharp and dull object to check superficial pain. Now taking tuning fork 128 Hz. To vibration test. Now I am going to patient toe and finger up down. For 2-point discrimination using paper clip for this patient, 1 point or 2 point. Point localization. Now I will touch to patient point. Graphthesia. Now I am going to draw on palm letter and numbers. Extension phenomena. Now I will use index finger both side of patient body part. Finger nose test. Patient touch their nose and my index. Rapid alternative movement. Patient move palm, heel to sign. Now patient follow my instruction. Jet. Patient will move forward, backward for posture balance. Patient will swim their arms. Tendon walking. Patient will move natural in heel to toe. Walk in toe. Walk on heels. Hop in place, one leg at a time. Solo knee bend. Romberg test. Patient will stand feet together and close. This is a negative Romberg test.